I have always wanted to go in a roundabout in this car. Genuine entertainment. This is the stuff. Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're back in the Citroën 2CV. This is a 2CV6 Charleston, and I believe this was kind of the end of the run. I think it's a 1980. Y'all can fact check me on that. But, you know, we had so much fun driving it last time that I had to have another go in it before it goes away. And it's just so entertaining to see the people movers of the world when it comes to these cars. You know, we drive the old school Volkswagens, but sometimes we don't appreciate what the French did as well, because this 2CV has the most outrageous suspension. It's so entertaining, and it can just careen over giant bumps with no problems. It's incredibly charming to drive, and you know, if I'm gonna drive it again, I've got to bring you along. Look how skinny these little tires are. You can see the practicality and cost savings everywhere. For example, these rear windows, they do not roll down. Those are fixed. The front windows, they don't roll down either, but they do fold up, so you get that partial window style, like a McLaren F1. I guess that's as much as we can compare it to. But it just clips right in there, and that's how you keep that up. Let's jump in, start it up, and take it for a drive. It immediately feels a little confusing in here because it's somewhat unique, but at the same time, really, you've got 3 pedals. It's a manual 4-speed. You've got your gear selector, and you've got a handbrake. Down here is your choke, what we'll use to start it up. And then to shift, I'll show you this first. It is an H pattern. It's just a little different. So it's a dog leg, meaning that forward and over is reverse. That's first, second, third, fourth. And there you go. Pretty simple. Once you figure that out, you are ready to drive. So pull the choke, start it up. You can bleed that choke off quick. This little 2-cylinder air cooler warms up very fast. I think we can do without it completely. We're ready to go. Driving the 2CV in traffic seems daunting and terrifying. But frankly, with 29 horsepower, it's actually quite a bit faster and more capable than, say, the Fiat 500. The Fiat 500 really feels anemic and a little terrifying to drive in these circumstances, where the 2CV6, I mean, being a hot rod of the 2CV world with 29 horsepower, it's actually quite functional. Like, you can do around town things without feeling too terrified. But I suppose it's all relative, you know. I do think that if you're used to even driving a Honda Civic, this would feel a little scary and sketchy. I think I have a different barometer than most, but frankly, I think you get used to it pretty quickly. And while the car is small, it's not a clown car. There is actually some room, you know. I'm not that cramped, although there's not a ton of headroom. What's nice is with this suspension, which was originally, I guess, designed to drive 30 miles an hour through a freshly plowed French field without breaking the eggs, it does well over the bumps. So as far as like driving it around kind of yucky New England roads, I'm not so concerned that it's going to break on me or anything along those lines. It is just very charming to buzz around in. Like, I find so much joy in driving this car, and everything works really well. Like, these brakes are fantastic. You know, I mean, they're not like race brakes, but nothing gives me pause. I really do feel confident in the car. No blinkers. Okay. No one gives blinkers here. It was originally called a 2 chevaux because there would be 2 horsepower. So 2 horses. That's it. Pretty simple. My French isn't extraordinary, but I can say Citroën. And I got flamed in the first time I drove one of these because I said Citroën. I said Citroën, and I'm aware it's Citroën. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, the American people get really mad at you when you try to pronounce things. They even say you're bougie if you say Porsche instead of Porsche. So I decided to split the difference and say Citroën. Never again. Never again. It's Citroën, and I will give it to you. But like, we're cruising along here at a good clip. This is a blast. What a great summer car. If I lived on like Martha's Vineyard or something, this is it, man. This is perfect. People wave to you in it. You look cool. That mirror's a little floppy. Don't worry about that. Oh man, I just love driving it. Like, I gotta say, this is one of those cars where I know I don't want to work on it, but I would own one of these because I do find a lot of joy in driving it. To me, it's almost like driving like an old Defender in the sense that it's very slow, but it does have a really sparkling charm that just makes everybody joyful. And I love driving it. It's kind of like a couch on wheels. Like, I really do feel like I'm just sitting on a couch that happens to be attached to drive wheels. Got to give a bit of a downshift just to get it up the hill, but we are cranking along. Look at this, perfect summer day. And side to side, the body roll is like hysterical. It's just so fun to putz around in. I don't think you could put anybody in this car without a smile. Maybe your teenage kids would be embarrassed that you picked them up from school in this, but that's about it. They don't count because they're just curmudgeons. Let's go check out a neighborhood. That's the thing. I feel like this is the kind of car that you would actually use to like explore, you know? Like, I don't really explore anymore. I think when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, you get your license, you go out for drives, just to drive. And it's so expensive to do that now anyway because of gas prices. But like, even without that, like, I don't go and explore. I don't go and try to find new things that often. I typically have a destination in mind. I go for the destination, and that's the thing. But like, in this little car, I feel like I want to see the world in my 2CV. That's the best part about it. It does feel very exploratory. It does feel like you can, it's like a hall pass. No one's mad at you. Like, you could accidentally drive down a private way, and I don't think anyone's gonna give you crap. I don't think anyone's gonna come out of their house yelling at you that, hey, how dare you drive down in my street? I think they'd say, hey, what are you driving? What's going on here? Well, we found the end. So there we go. Exploration, not so incredible. No power steering, but it doesn't matter because the front end is so incredibly light. Everything engages so nicely. I think that's one of my favorite parts about this car is that it's not complicated to drive and it's not nuanced to drive either. Old Fiat 500s, they've got crash boxes. There's no synchros. They are very persnickety. They're easy to go up the gears if you're reasonably experienced. Not so easy to go down through the gears. And the 2CV is very easy to go down through the gears. There's no questions about what's going to happen. You feel pretty confident giving it the little rev match. I was off by a little bit, but not bad. It's forgiving. It's funny, when you're sitting at a set of lights, you can't really see the lights through the windshield unless you duck, so you've got to go up. I like that. That's goofy. Does it get respect? Does it get respect? I think everybody just likes it. I think it's funny when people are really macho, right? They're macho in the car world. They wouldn't be seen in a pink car or a 2CV or a Fiat 500. Like, man, oh man, are you missing out on some good drives if you don't drive stuff like this? Because I will tell you, I have so much fun driving bizarre, quirky cars like this. And I can't express how much you're missing out on if you're too macho to drive oddball stuff. This is so much fun. You do need to be aware, right? I mean, getting hit in this car catastrophic. Not going to be good for anybody. Even while I'm contemplating my own death in this thing, I'm having a good time, and it doesn't make me want to go put it away. So I gotta say, 2CV drives. I mean, should I buy one of these? Should I buy this car? Like, I'm not joking. Like, I've considered it. I've considered buying this car, just not even as a joke. I just really do enjoy driving it. My little French friend. I'm reminded of the Porsche 356 when I drive this car because I have to lean out of my seat to get to those far away gears. And I always had that trouble in the Speedster when I'd have to go for third. You've got to go way forward to get to third and first. That's cool. I love the little Citroën touches, like the single spoke steering wheel that lets you know what you're driving in case you forgot. Impossible to forget. Or folks that are in the wrong lane with the wrong blinker, just living their lives however they see fit. Okay, all right. I guess they can't figure this out. That's a tricky one. Oh, they're back. Somehow the Citroën is the fast car in the scenario here. A little bit of patience, a little bit of gentle clutch release and smooth shifts, but it sounds great. Those little shifts, they click really nicely. What's fun is how narrow it is. So on a big road like this, I could sit over here, or I could practically turn this into a 2-lane road and sit over here. It's hilarious. I do hope to drive a much older 2CV, a much slower 2CV, the kind that would have like the picnic bench seats, the wicker seats that come out so you can have a picnic in the car or outside of the car wherever you end up parking. Those are really cool to me, and that might be the vibe, but I gotta say, it's probably much more drivable and usable to have something like the 2CV6 Charleston because it's got enough power to actually get out of its own way. It's still plenty slow, so don't worry, you're still not in a hot rod, but you know, it's important to make sure that you can actually not die on the road while you're driving. I have always wanted to go in a roundabout in this car. Genuine entertainment. This is the stuff. That's fantastic. What a great horn. Well guys, I'm gonna go bring this back to Bond Group here in Waltham, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you for being a community of folks who appreciates all forms of automotive content, whether it's like a Lamborghini Murcielago in a manual, a Honda Civic Si, or a French people mover. I think, you know, one of the things that I've always wanted to do with this channel is just celebrate driving, celebrate the automobile, and not have any kind of like shame or stigma attached to any segment here. You know, I like that this is a fun, open, and welcoming place, and you guys make it happen. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.